Welcome to the Virtual Insanity
podcast. I can't believe we're doing this. What the?
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off!
Welcome back, Virtual Insanity fam. Nice to have you back. Anyway, Matt, you start us off.
All right, lovely. I was on Facebook. I was looking through the memories that I've collected on Facebook through the years, and one popped up, and it just I just wanted to ask you, have you been to Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been a few times. We used to go for one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first time I went and I stopped over, like we went and watched Ajax.
Okay.
That was cool. Like a few beers. You were allowed to drink in the stand. It was before the smoking ban. You could smoke.
Yeah.
In the stands. They sing Bob Marley before kick off, and I'm like, yeah. Then all of a sudden, like the paranoia kicked in because you were like, oh, these people, like, and you got like proper like,
yeah.
So you like go back down onto the concourse and you're like, oh fuck it, go back out and same up. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, that was like because it was like we just got there, went straight to a calf, then went to Ajax, so we'd not
settled.
Yeah. Bad move. Like that was a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
Because we should have maybe had some in the cafe and been like, oh right.
Just had a minute with it.
Know what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
So so
what would you class as other rookie mistakes quickly?
Going into a shop, well, a coffee shop or whatever, and ordering food.
Yeah.
So it was raining this one time, and so we went into this. It was called the bulldog, not the bulldog, the grasshopper.
Yeah.
And we went in, and it was like, and it was cold out, so I was like, I'll have a mushroom soup. The waiter comes out, brings this bowl with a cloth over it, and I'm like,
strange.
I'm like looking at it. He goes, oh, you do this, and he like lifts the cloth up, and it hails. I was like, okay, I just wanted to eat it, so I tried it.
Yeah.
And then like obviously ate it, and I remember being like, felt a bit queasy, so I was like, I've got to go outside. So we go outside anyway. We decided to go for a walk. And I remember walking, and Amsterdam's got loads of canals.
Yeah.
Bridges. So I remember walking, and I know I'm on this bridge, and in my head, I've seen a boat coming, like a canal boat, and I'm like, and I jump to the floor and grab onto the pavement because I'm adamant the bridge is lifted up. Right? So I kid you not, I'm clinging on.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I think this is happening.
Yeah.
So like, I'm probably like tensing up and like, nails dug into the cobblestones, like that sort of shape. And people are just walking past you, you're like, what's going on? It was, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're back and you're like,
what the fuck am I doing?
and people are just like, walking past you laughing and stuff, and you're like, it's all right. I didn't have a Snickers. But no, that was
Sounds intense.
yeah. So
I always found with coffee shops, when you buy a drink, especially a hot drink, it normally comes lukewarm. So you've got to like neck it immediately, otherwise it's ruined.
yeah,
And I remember like when we went, so I've only ever been once. When we went, we ended up sitting outside majority of the time, even though it was cold.
yeah,
But it kind of allowed, they didn't mind as much if you stayed around. It's like if you sat around, they normally like to get you in, because these coffee shops are tiny,
yeah,
proper tiny.
Yeah, some of them are, and then there is like some big ones.
Yeah. So, but the better, I always find the better ones are the smaller ones.
Little nook and cranny.
Yeah. So if you are going to go in there and smoke or sit in there, you do have to keep buying drinks because, again, with the way it works, they're kind of only going to get one sale, kind of thing. So they have to sell drinks and whatnot. But I just remember being sat outside, just in the city, and very much like you with that Ajax, you just sat in the city outside smoking a doob, and people are just walking past, and it's the most surreal experience because you just like nobody cares. It's mental. But rookie mistake. We ended up buying just like loads of stuff, and you just like you smoke a couple, and you just like I don't know how I'm smoking all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just went to McDonald's. And I just remember walking in there, and I think my eyes were closed. Genuinely, I was like that high. I was just like,
you just see the menu.
Yeah, and
squints.
One thing that Amsterdam McDonald's do, I'm not sure if they do it anywhere else. You have to let us know in the comments. But they do a fritter sauce, pommes fritter sauce. It's like a chip sauce. It's just the nicest thing I've ever had.
Yeah, I think it's mayo and ketchup mix.
Like,
Or something like that.
It was almost like mayo. It was like mayo, but it was also like it had like a twang of Big Mac.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like mustard or something.
Honestly, it was so nice. It was one of the nicest things. But I just remember being so absolutely blazed out of my mind.
The one I love about McDonald's in Europe, you can have a beer.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a Big Mac and a beer. And you're like, McDonald's has gone to a new level. You're like, Big Mac and beer.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect combo because you could do it with a drive-through. But
What did he say?
it's not the same.
No, I can't. That would just be a bit weird.
So you sit there and you get the beer in the meal.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, I'll have a Heineken Big Mac meal, please.
That's strange.
But then you're just sitting there, you're supping your beer, eating a Big Mac. You can just go in and buy a beer.
That's crazy.
Like, just like going to McDonald's. Oh, I'm going to Mackey's. What for? Beer. Grab some beer, maybe nugs.
There is one thing we need to talk about when you talk about Amsterdam, and that's the bikes and the absolute terror of
And
the bikes.
trams. The trams were bad as well. I kid you not, they snuck up on you and they went, dang, dang.
Becca almost got taken out by a tram. We were stood on the path, bro. And when you've been there a couple of days, you kind of acclimatise to the sounds of Amsterdam. So you could just hear this ding, 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 ding. And we didn't think anything of it. And it got louder and closer and louder and closer. And then I just look, and this tram is just like coming towards Becca, and I'm just like, come here quick. And you're like, they don't stop. That thing wasn't going to stop. It was just, I'm getting to my destination, pal. Like, you know what I mean? Get out. Same with the bikes. They don't stop. And again, you don't live there, so you forget. When you go into a shop and you're looking at all the mad things in the shop, you forget that when you go outside, you could get taken out by a bike.
Yeah.
And they go so fast. And now they've got like electric bikes. So you can't even hear these things come in. And they go so fast. And you just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
oh my God. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It's like PTSD
As bikes.
from bikes
Yeah.
in that area. They are insane.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere, but the problem is, like, because you don't live there, you forget. So you go into a shop, and because the shop's just like mad as fuck, or you go into a coffee shop and it's just mad as fuck, you forget what's outside. And so the moment you like open the door, it's just bring, bring, boom, and you're Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean?
So like obviously this day trip that we could do. We
There
went
is.
into Vondel Park.
Yeah.
It's a lush day, and we're like wandering around, and then we just decided to sit down because we'd been to a shop and bought something, and we're like, perfect place.
Yeah.
Like, there's a fire engine parked over there, but all the firemen are out, and they're passing like a spliff round, sort of thing. And you're like, so anyway, we sat there, and we just like, there's bikes going past. You're just in this park in the capital, and anyway, there's a bloke sunbathing in front of us, and all of a sudden he stands up, and he's like, takes his top off, gets back down. Then he stands up again, takes his jeans off,
Right.
lies back down. We're starting to laugh because we're like, what's going off? I bet you he gets up now and he's going to do something else. He stands up, takes his boxers off, and then jogs off. Right? Just jogs off. Round this lake, start bollock naked. And we're like,
No panties! No panties!
did we just see that? And then you like look forward and there's this rug that is close. And you're like,
Something definitely happened.
anyway,
Here.
20 minutes later, you see this figure running back. And you're like, I can see it's Willie.
Oh.
Woof, woof! You know. But anyway, he comes back, stands there, looks at us and smiles.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, this is a bit weird. Well, anyway, puts his boxers on, puts his jeans on, does a stretch, puts his top on, picks his rug up and walks off.
So he's just gone to the park for a quick naked jog.
Well, we don't know, because he was sunbathing at first, and then when we were, and it was that smile he gave us. We were just like,
Wow.
do you want us to follow?
What?
You know, like... So anyway, we left that park quite hastily. We were a bit like, let's go sightsee anyway.
Yeah.
We're in Amsterdam. And so we're walking around and we go, all of a sudden there was like a burger chain.
Yeah.
And you could go in and sit down like McDonald's sort of style, but they also had vending machines outside with cheeseburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Best thing ever. Honestly, you was like 2 in the morning walking past like,
Get me one of them.
solid.
Yeah.
But when we went, we stopped in like, not a hostel, but it was like a hippie B&B.
Right.
And you got weed brownies, like you got treated that way, like
Yeah.
smoking everything. That was quality.
See, we stopped in a... It wasn't a hostel as such, but it kind of felt like a hostel. But it was like a really nice hotel.
Yeah.
And it was just outside of Amsterdam. And like one of the things that amazed me the most, and it's like one of the dullest things ever, right? You know when you go and get a train in Amsterdam, it is just there. Like, when a train says, I'm going to be here at 12:30, in this country, it's like, oh, okay, so it'll be like quarter to 1 maybe, or it might just not even show up.
Yeah.
But in Amsterdam, it's just 12:30, yeah, I'll be there. And you're like, wicked. It's not only that, but they've painted on the floor sort of like where the doors are, and you're like, it's never gonna hit that spot every time. I swear down, every single time. Every time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what magic is this?
Yeah, no, I remember that. Like, it's same in Switzerland and stuff.
And not only that,
double-decker trains.
so of Amsterdam.
Yes.
So of Amsterdam. Like,
they are the like,
bro.
You like, I'm going upstairs.
It's the weirdest thing.
But like, I always remember me and my mate. We went to Switzerland to meet my family. We're flying there. We get on the train and we're going to Interlaken. It's a double-deck train, and we're buzzing. And the upstairs is smoking as well, so you're like, yeah. Anyway, we're on this journey. It's like 3 hours or something. And there's this guy sat opposite us, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Oh,
Scusi.
you guys smoke?" Like, in that sort of Germany accent. And we're like, "Well, yeah, obviously." Because we'd been sat there in the smoking car, having a few fags, sort of thing. And he goes, "Oh,
Scusi.
okay." 20 minutes later, he goes,
Scusi.
"Welcome to Switzerland," and passes over this.
Joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, "What the fuck?" He's like, he sparks it, and he's passing it around, and he's just chatting to us, and we're like, what is this country? Like, it was proper mad. Like, I always remember going as a kid. Obviously, as a kid, you're not going to experience that, but the first time going since you were like 10, and you're like 18 now, and that happens, and you're like, I want to stay here. This country's cool.
We had something like that in Amsterdam. So we were smoking a joint outside, and this guy just came up to us, and he was just sound. Like pretty much any Dutch person that I ever came into contact with. They're incredible. But this guy was just like, "You got a lighter?" "Yes, mate, of course. Here's a lighter." He pulled out this pipe, and it was like the maddest looking pipe I've ever seen in my life, honestly. He was like, "What the fuck is this?" Gosh, he's puffing away on this, and we're just there smoking the joint. I don't know what was in that pipe. Because that man went sideways. And we were like, "Are you alright, mate?" And he was just like, "Sad." And he walked diagonally away from us. Me and my mate were just looking at each other like, did that really happen? What the hell has he smoked? I don't know what it was, honestly. He changed. He went to another dimension, I'll tell you now.
Total eclipse.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He must have had one in that pipe, like, off we go.
I'm going before you. Imagine that, if you could just be like, yeah, I've had enough of this timeline.
You know what I mean? Just smoke this.
Like,
See ya.
that gets me though. Parallel universe. Do you believe that for every time you say yes, in another timeline, there's you saying no?
No, I heard a mad theory that was like, every time you think about doing something, it creates an alternate timeline where that does happen. And I was just thinking in my head, like, shit, that's creating an alternate universe.
I'm now just creating another.
How many alternate universes have I created? Do they like expire?
Mandela.
Like,
maybe that. Like, this is what I mean about that whole thing. We spin out, and it's like,
I just don't know if we've got too much time on our hands.
well, there is that.
I'm not. I want to know. Did you play any competitive games, board games?
Oh, as it was always as a family, and usually it'd be when we were on holiday in summer and it'd be raining, so we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, get the board games out, and we'd all be sat in the caravan, and like the big table would come out, and the board game would go on, and you're like, three of us crush one side, two the other, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and we'd always play Cluedo.
Okay.
And my mum was always Miss Scarlet. I always had to be Colonel Mustard. Like, we all had
your own
set like things.
Yeah.
And like, obviously Miss Scarlet always goes for, like, there's a little rules in it. So anyway, we used to play this game, and my dad used to always win, or my mum sometimes. We never did.
No.
And then all of a sudden, you cottoned onto it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start going, I'm doing it all wrong. This is why I'm losing. Like, and then all of a sudden you change your tactic, and you're all proper smug about it.
Yeah.
And you win a game.
Yeah.
I remember my dad just being like, tosses the piece off the like his son has just beat him. It's like that moment. I think all dads probably fear. I don't know, but
I've not got there yet.
I'm always like, there's going to be a point where they lose for the first time at something, and Cluedo, it's like,
I mean, it's quite a it's a more adult board game than most other board games. Like
but like you can play it as a family because it's basic, and obviously at first I'd be like going into a room. I'm going to the rooms that I don't have a card of.
Yeah.
So I'm like, trot there. And then I'm looking at my cards and I'm like, right, okay, so I've got them. So I pick a person that I haven't got, and I pick a weapon I haven't got. No one shows you. Like, you get shown something straight away.
Yeah.
You know, then you forget. So you do it again. And you keep showing, like, it gets to the same, and it's like, because you're not using the pad properly, but because you've not got time for that. But then all of a sudden when you do, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, I go to a room that I've got, and I ask the question about a person I've got, and I pick a weapon I haven't. So if someone doesn't show me, I know.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, oh. So they put a question mark.
Yeah.
And you play them because then they'll bring them, and you're like, smug.
Yeah.
And show them. But you also know if someone shows it before you, the other two are definitely, well, not definitely, well, yeah, because you've got them.
Right.
So if you've got the lounge and Miss Scarlet, and someone says, the lounge, Miss Scarlet, lead pipe, and someone shows it, you know it's not the lead pipe.
Right, okay.
But then you coyly, like, will play the lead pipe card at some point.
Right.
It's just, yeah.
Cluedo was one of them that I never really touched, because, again, there was just too much fannying about. One we did play was Monopoly.
Yeah? I've never played it.
You've never played Monopoly?
No, I think Cluedo was too competitive.
You want to talk about competitive Monopoly? The amount of times I've been playing Monopoly with either family or friends, and you talk about your dad flicking like the little game piece in Monopoly, the whole board, yeet.
I never lose. I never lose.
Off it goes, and it's got everything on it. So you've got all your chance and your community cards, chess cards. They're gone. Any money that's in the middle, because you sort of gather money through fines and stuff, it goes in the middle if you play it that way. That's gone. Game pieces gone. Dice gone. Person that flipped the that flipped the table, they're gone. They've had enough. You don't see them for about a week.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
I didn't play it.
I remember playing a game of Monopoly, and it lasted 2 days. 2 full days.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Like, it was like first day playing the game. Yeah, this is great, because it starts off, and this is the thing with Monopoly. I don't know if anybody else gets this, but like, Monopoly starts out fun. Starts out like, oh yeah, cool, great, yeah, this is cool. Then people start buying properties, and then it starts getting like gnarly at that point, because the dice can make you or break you. You land on their property, and you've got to start paying them, and then the money starts moving. Once that money starts sort of exchanging, that's where it starts getting like bad, and then and then as the game progresses, it just gets worse and worse and worse. At that point, like, everybody's building up on their streets, so you can buy like hotels and houses. So you buy your houses, and the houses equate to like more
Yeah.
that you have to pay.
Yeah, I get the idea of it.
So-
I just never played it.
Like, again, some people, and I don't know how it happens. It happens every time, but somebody always gets pretty much an entire one side of the board. So as a player, you're like, basically, I need to get
10
I need to get past this
segment.
this segment of board, and it's the entire length of the board,
But there's like
from
other-
corner to corner.
but there's-
And I think you get so you'll either get a utility or you get a train station, I think, or you'll get a chance or a community chest. So you're looking at the board and you're going, I need to roll a 3 here,
2 dice.
and then I need to roll like a 5 or a 6, and I'm clear. And that's where the real.
I do know the average throw on 2 dice is 7.
Right.
It's the most possible number
Yeah.
made out of all the combinations.
Yeah.
So technically, you meant to, when it's 2 dice, always count to 7 and be like, right, it may be less, it may be more, but that's roughly where I'm going to land.
Yeah. I'm telling you now, you grab them dice, you chuck them, and you see the number that you don't want to see, and you just. It's like, because everybody else is seeing the dice, they're seeing the numbers,
And
right?
they know what's happening.
So they know exactly what's happening. They've already worked out, well, if he gets this, he's mine. If he gets that, he's mine. If he gets that, the other person's like, yeah, he's mine. And you're like, fucking hell. And, the numbers pop up and you're like, fuck. And then the other person, you can just feel it. They're just like... Like, you know what I mean? I'm having you, sunshine. And I don't know why, but you just take every step. You don't just go straight to the north. Like, it's like a painful
you
walk.
like hope that you're miscalculating.
Yeah, and you land on it and you look up and they're just the biggest grin is on the other person's face, and you're just like, I will put you to sleep.
Or I will put you to sleep. Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
I don't want to pay you.
Yeah, and thing is, it can go again. If you roll that dice and you fuck up 3 or 4 times, you're out the game. That's when you got to start selling things, and most people don't play by the correct rules.
Yeah.
Some people will just make a variation of it. You know what I mean? So whatever the simplest form is. So people will start swapping things. So, I haven't got enough money, but do you want Pall Mall, for instance?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or do you want Whitechapel? Or, one of the lower ones.
Yeah.
And people will be like, yeah, all right, I'll take that off you. Or you'll get, I'll let you off this one time, or, you can loan it until you get round the board. Because every time you make it successfully round the board, you get 200 Monopoly money. But again, you're on borrowed time, and then you start borrowing from the bank, and then the bank and that's normally when the table was just see you.
Put yourself back in jail. Put yourself back. Let me say it one more time. We will need you.
Do you know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out.
Stop that.
It's a great game, though. You should play
I
it.
need to.
We'll get it. We'll get it set up here, and we'll see how fast it takes one of us to flip the
We'll
ball.
just play it every episode.
Yeah.
Like, no cheaters, no.
No.
We'll just roll dice while we're talking.
Yeah. I think that sounds like an idea. And then when we've done that, we'll play something else.
Yeah. Yeah. What games would you like to see us play?
Yeah.
Right.
Or have you had any eventful board game mishaps, experiences?
Or what was the good board game you always went to?
Yeah, what was your favourite board game? My favourite was, I've got to say, I know it kind of gives you that slight PTSD, but Operation. It's a great game.
See, I used to like Kaplunk.
Yeah, Kaplunk was a good game.
But it was, again, like
Jenga.
And
well, we do play that. It's normally me and Becca. Like
Uno.
I've never played Uno.
Uno, oh my life. I have seen
Death?
Yeah. Uno nurseness like of doom. And we used to play for money.
Okay.
So
yeah.
And like it'd be like you'd start off like we'd all put a quid in. Then the next game it was like 2 and you basically by the end of the night you could have lost 20 quid. You playing Uno. Boy. Oh, I hate it. And then like there'd always be that point and you're like it's getting tense now because
so I don't know the game.
Can't really, like so it's basically numbers following on but in colours.
Right.
So like I think this is how because we used to play it with a deck of cards.
Okay. So
then Queen was skip a go, Jack reversed the way round the circle.
Right.
Yeah, King was skip a go, Jack reverse, and Queen was you could change the suit. So you'd be playing with a deck of cards.
This game sounds mad.
Right, but then 2 and 4 meant take 2 or take 4.
Right.
So once it's
so what do you have to?
So
do you have a set amount of cards?
You tip a card over and then someone starts.
Okay.
And then it goes from that person.
Yeah.
And every time you put a card down, you pick one up. So once it starts getting to the
yeah.
But also 2 and 4. So if I put a 2 down and you've not got a Jack or a Queen, I think, or a 2. So if you put a 2 down, the next person would have to pick up 4. But if they've got a 2, because sometimes you tactically do it to get rid of them,
right? Okay,
and see if they're in the pack. So all 4 of you could play a 2. It gets back to me. Say, I've got a Jack. I play the Jack. It passes it back to the other person, and then you're playing the risk of if they've got a Jack, bam, they fire it back. And then you have to pick up 8. So
right,
and the idea of the game is to get to your last card and just say Uno. But if you can't go, you've got to pick a card because I think you keep flipping the deck. Yeah.
Right.
So every so often, the 4s and the 2s. Yeah.
This game sounds absolutely insane. Wow.
I can't remember what Ace did though. That did something. But like, yeah, Uno.
Yeah. Sounds it.
Yeah, because games would last for ages.
Yeah.
Because obviously the taking, and because it's basically the whole deck's just flip back over, you carry on.
You got to carry on.
Carry on.
Right.
So you could get to 1 card and end up with 10 again.
Oh, no, that's too much for me.
And I've played games where you know what's going to happen. Oh, that was it. You then also played, so when someone was out, you carried on till the last person was out. Oh, that was a different game. I can't remember.
Whoa.
Yeah, we used to play it at school for like dinner money and stuff.
That sounds insane.
Yeah, but Uno. That was like all of a sudden like you'd end up with like 36 cards. Because it goes on till one of you basically is picked. At some point, one of you's actually got the whole pack. So then you're like, wait a minute, scanning through them. So you like put a run together because obviously, if you've got 4, 5, 6, you can go 4, 5, 6.
Right. Okay.
And then if you've got a 6 of another suit, you can play that. And then if you've got the 7, the 8, 9, or whatever, because you can do runs. So sometimes you'd open up and you'd be like, oh my god,
you're on it.
But you're waiting for a certain number. So if you can't go, you have to pick a card up as well. Yeah.
You know what? I'm good with Snap.
Yeah, good old fashioned Snap.
That game.
Until next time, thank you for listening. A comment, like or share really helps us out, and we would love to hear your stories and thoughts in the comments section below.